Welcome to Emuna is Our Future with a healthy winter and soul. Welcome back, everybody. So exciting to start the new class, Emuna class, of the first one for the new year. We did have a little one in the previous time in between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, but I consider that already like its own little time frame. So really, after going through the high days of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we're entering into a new world, and it's called Tafshin Pei Aleph. We spoke about that a little bit, what the significance of this year in numerical term. Spiritually, there's definitely a lot of changes going on this year more than ever. I apologize, I'm not sitting in our usual space of being in the studio, but we are still in a lockdown in the Holy Land in Israel. And we want to thank our host, Rav Shalom Arush. He's not hosting me in his home. I'm in my own home, and I'm happy to be here. But he is hosting us on his platforms, and we look forward to get back to the studio in the next, hopefully, maybe sooner than we think, but most likely in the new week. And that's how it stands right now. This is part of the Emunah is Our Future. I spoke about it in my description. We're beginning a new year, together, all of us, and it's a new time period, not exactly knowing what is ahead of us all. Nobody knows. And in a way, this is the true reality in life. We never really know what's going to be ahead of us. And it's much clearer this year, that truth of reality of creation, that it's an unknown destiny. And that gives us opportunity. I was speaking about it with my friends when it comes to making a living or family stuff, or we're planning ahead, holidays, or anything you are working on. There's an opportunity this year more than ever to really just put yourself in the hands of Hashem and of our Creator, and really apply this title of Emunah is Our Future, because that is the future Emunah. To say that you are able to dictate or know for sure what's going to be would be dishonest. So everybody in their own way, thank God, can tune into this. I hope the internet is good. I didn't actually put on the Wi-Fi on the phone. So far, so good on the natural internet. Now I just put on the Wi-Fi. You'll let me know if it's different. Ensure that you guys are hearing good. We're doing a live feed in my home in Jerusalem, and this is a class to wish you all a healthy winter, to give us a little bit of a mindset for going ahead right now together, Emunah tour online. And please God, we're looking forward to exciting times, because the reality is, if this is where we're supposed to be right now, I'm sitting in my house, this is where I'm supposed to be, and I might have the opportunity maybe to do a fully edited class. I'll be able to get to the studio, but it won't be live because we're still working out the Wi-Fi issues over there, which is fine by me, because I'm happy to do this twice this week, special for you guys. And happy to hear someone from down under. Yes, wow, that's so nice. Welcome, down under. I never actually made it to Australia. I mentioned that last time, but we are there in Australia right now through the live feed, and that's one of the beautiful realities of our global world now, our global community. And here's someone from Switzerland. You guys, you're welcome to post questions, and if you have, not that, once again, I'm not here to answer like a rabbi, like Rav Arush, that will save for his special class. But for sure, someone's now asking for things to my life for this winter. Yes, we're going to do this. We're going to have blessings. That's what we're here for together, to create a blessed kli, a vessel. And there's no better vessel, there's no better container for blessing than peace. So one of the things we're very into, as well as Emunah, is unity. I'm personally still in the middle of writing this book. Thankfully, right now, I'm at 28 pages already, which is a big step. For me, it's Gematria Koyach, which I have the strength to do all our projects, everything we set out. It's very important, in my opinion, to have these kind of projects. I have podcasts, Emunah is Our Future podcast. We'll put this on straight away after the class. And I have my own personal podcast, Relationship Flow, Unity Flow podcast. We have the opportunity, by having projects, it keeps us focused during this, Corona challenge that we're all going through on a global level. It gives us opportunity to use our time effectively. which is something I do write about in our United Souls book, especially family time. Like a lot of us are having the pleasure of having our kids at home right now. In front of me is all my kids' stuff because they've been learning in the calls, the phone calls, the Zoom chats, and all this stuff. They have opportunities to talk to people through the phone lines and connect in a different way. But that's also a challenge, having all the family together in such a concentrated format. And that's what's been going on personally. It's a big blessing to have family. And someone here wrote, I'm walking on a narrow bridge. Exactly. During this time, we're all now together, and that's very unifying. Even though the media try to make this whole thing politicized and divisive, which we won't go there at all, what we'll do is we'll focus in onto the Emuna aspect, that there is unity and there is togetherness, and we have souls, united souls. We're all together, and yeah, it's painful to go somewhat through this time period, but the key is not to get distracted. I've been listening, thank God, to a lot of healthy, positive podcasts this last month. One of them is Rich Roll. I don't know if you guys heard of him. And he had a special guest there who's had struggles with addictions, as Rich Roll himself did. And I do believe the recovery world is a very healthy path for a lot of people if they're having those kind of struggles. And all the people who haven't had those kind of struggles, specifically addiction, can still learn from the recovery world so much, especially when it comes to this time period we're in, to not avoid your issues, but to face on, like Gedalia Fence always talks about, to face your life and to go into the challenges ahead of you and to allow yourself through the recovery world to come to a more positive mindset that we can overcome our pain and our struggles, we can face ourselves. And one of the best ways to do that once we're doing the different steps is to then go on a universal level, to go together with others and help others and communicate and talk and have group experiences. So you guys, Emuna is our future. We have a group, we have Unity Inspires group, we have lots of groups, Breslev Israel group, there's lots of groups and there's lots of platforms in Breslev English which you can share your input, and please God will try put it out there as long as it is about the one God or the one creator that we're working with, and it's with Emuna and it consistent with that theme. So then it's great. We can share it there, and we can all grow together and overcome this challenge on a universal, united front. Now, I don't know exactly what's been going on where everybody else is. A little bit I hear from people, there's been a lot of transition, but it's also been a very holy time. And living in Yerushalayim, I had the blessing to be in Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot, Shmini Atzeres, Simchas Torah, and that includes also Hoshana Rabbah, which is the day before the climax of Simchas Torah. I was with very holy people in Yerushalayim, and I was able to enter into that world of intimate connection with our Creator. And I wrote and mentioned in my book and in my Unity Flow podcast and Relationship Flow podcast the concept of that we're never really, like, when we're going into a more intimate realm, we're going into a more spiritual place within, that it's only for us to then become again more inclusive, not, God forbid, to become prideful or full of ourselves or feel like we're the chosen this or chosen that. No, it's a concept of connection in order to then, once we're connected, to be inclusive, to have that light, to have that connection to the oneness, to that spirituality that Rav Arush is teaching us through the Garden of Emuna books and all the other wonderful teachings we have on our sites. Like we've been putting up Gedalia Fenster the last week or so, and before that we had the DHC, which we're looking forward to return hopefully the next few days, and Jonathan Galed have his Universal Garden of Emuna, and we hope to have special guests, because remember we have our Emuna class in our studio weekly, and Yosef Daniel has shown some interest. We'd like to have him back, but this time with the guitar, get some music, some energy. Very important to have that good vibe and spiritual energy. And wow, yeah, someone wrote interesting comments. Okay, I'm just internalizing it. And what we got to do is just realize that while we're doing the music and the sharing and these special moments together, we're also preparing now for a new Kriya of Torah. We're getting ready to hear from Bereshis, the beginning, the creation. And it's very important that when we enter this parsha now, Shabbat, and we have a whole full week. Usually it's not always a whole full week. We have a whole full week to prepare for this special time, that we should use it very sensitively, because we've just gone through a very special time. Hopefully, I really hope everyone, personally, thank God, I'm very thankful. I have a beautiful soulmate who really worked hard the whole Tishrei to bring out amazing, Yom Tov Sudas, and I'm really appreciative beyond words. And I also thankfully have, a good family, even if they're not all in Jerusalem. But, my father, for example, it's his birthday today. He's always been a very supportive father, and I wish him long life, 79 years old. And I pray that by his 80th, I will be able to be there together. Someone here is asking for forgiveness for sins. So, with our story, like if you read our Garden of Emuna books, that would be the best place to go. Just read it and apply it, especially Universal Garden of Emuna, because it sounds like we need a more universal approach. And it's really important that people realize that they themselves can come to that forgiveness through hisbodedus, through talking to God, through doing self-evaluation. These are things that Rav Arush has spoken about many, many times in his classes, and we hope next Tuesday night, I think that would be more realistic than trying to go for tomorrow night. We'll begin again 11 o'clock with our first Emuna class. And like I said, Yosef Daniel with the guitar, and we have Dayan Elgrod, please God, to translate. Let's be very, appreciative that we had those 12 wonderful classes, and we've been posting the playlist for you guys to go over. And even though over there we did talk about Uman and things that seem seemingly only relevant then, but that's not true, because the light of Uman Rosh Hashanah, of Emunah, and Rabbi Nachman, and as Ben Feiga, Ben Simcha, as Chesed is relevant the whole year round, because really Sameach Kol HaShana. You have to be rejoicing the whole year, and especially the light of all the Yomim Tovim really is coming out. These holy days that we just went through, every Shabbat there's a certain light, like it says in the holy Svarim, the mystical Svarim, the Kabbalistic Svarim. Someone's asking me to hear about how there's a certain spiritual reality in the calendar and holidays. So we explain that on the Friday night, the Shabbat night, there's a light of Rosh Hashanah. There's a certain awe comes down if people allow themselves to do the correct preparation and some of the emotional blocks. You can experience a certain light that comes down every Shabbat night, and disconnect to reconnect. That already is a big step forward for our generation, just to get away from the internet for a whole day, just turning everything off, turning off the work mind, and allowing to experience the soul. That itself is important. The word itself, Bereshis, is bara Shabbat. It's the letters bara Shabbat. It's also it has all those kinds of ideas, but Shabbat is also the idea of teshuv, to return. And these are very deep ideas of boshis, to be able to have some sort of shame, some sort of humility, and be able to face life like we spoke about before, not run away from life, to deal with life. And we should have that strength from the time we've been in, as Moshe said to Yeshua, Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses said to Yeshua in the Simchas Torah, we read it, it's this idea of rak, chazak, ve'amatz. These are very important words. That you should only have strength and encouragement. I do believe the language of the soul is only strength and encouragement. I do believe that to become more spiritual in this generation and to unify the world, we need to be with that kind of mindset of only encouragement and strength to other people. That's the kind of way we should speak. And I know myself, I'm sometimes critical, God forbid, of my wife, and Rav Arush is completely against that, or even critical to my children or the people I work with, or God forbid you don't speak good about people. And this world nowadays, the media, they're not following those rules at all. And you see the effect it's having on the culture and the ability to work together. Really, the concept of only encouragement and strengthening other people would really change the world, would really give us a utopian kind of existence. And Moshe said that to Yeshua, and Yeshua said that to us. And that's the kind of life we should live. At the end of the Torah, we say this, only encouragement and chizuk and have Torah. We read it, and that's after we read the Torah, on Simchas Torah, and we begin straight away Bereshis, Bara Shabbos. Hashem made the Shabbat to give us that encouragement. So, like we were saying, the night of Shabbat is Rosh Hashanah, And the day of Shabbat, the morning, is Yom Kippur. And the afternoon of Shabbat is Sukkot. So we have Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, everything we've spoken about is within every Shabbat. And then we come to the climax of Shabbat, which is the Rabbi, the will of wills, as the Arizal, may his merit protects us, talks about. And we enter into this idea of this will, this rotzen, this spiritual realm. And this is the true reality of where our minds and souls should be tuned into, ultimately, that God, our Creator, wants to constantly create the world every moment. But there's a certain on a certain time of will. Out this the climax of Shabbat, and that's the idea of the Shalasudas, which we call Rabbi Dayan, this time of will, and that's Shmini Atzeres, that's Simchas Torah, that's the climax of Tishrei, which we've already explained in the previous class in Emuna about how the whole of Tishrei is Shabbat. So right now in that time of will, and Shabbos Bereshis is tuning in that will for God Himself to, or you don't want to say Himself because we lose people when we say God or Himself, but our Creator, the universal force that everyone deep down knows is true, that unifying force of godliness, oneness, of truth, that is creating and willing to create constantly the reality. And Bereshis, make Kiddush on Shabbat night with the 70 words there, and fixing up all the 70 nations, the 70 aspects of creation. We are coming to a different level of partnership with godliness, where we're now becoming one with creation, and we're testifying the reality of creation. And the Ramban and the Shlach Kodesh and other holy people talk about how this is really one of the most important things, how we're going out of enslavement to our body and desires. We're going into a realm of where the soul is empowering our physical existence, and we're entering a world of Aliyas La'alamas. The world's going up into a very spiritual place. So what happened that right now where we don't feel that? We've got a lot of pain and a lot of struggle. Let's be real. Like I could go on and on about these beautiful spiritual concepts, but the idea Shabbat has that within. The whole calendar is contained within Shabbat, because really it's the 7th millennium, the 7th reality of Mashiach we spoke about. What we're going to do when we're down here before that, just before that takes place, and there's a lot of confusion and darkness, and there's all the pain that we're experiencing, like we spoke about, but not just physically, emotionally, and spiritually, and the fact that we can't be with family we love. Like I said, it's my father's birthday, and I don't know when I'm going to see him next. It's in London. Or others, I'm sure people have got all kinds of, pain we can all share together and work through in a real way. So while we're in that position, all of us now have the power right now, in this time, 2020 going up to 21, or in the Jewish calendar, Tafshin Pei Aleph, we're getting close to a certain climactic point in history, and everyone feels it, whether they understand that in the Jewish calendar there's only 219 years till the year 6000, which is that millennium, that 7th millennium of Shabbat. So even if spiritually they're not aware of the Jewish calendar, but everybody knows there's we're heading towards something important, that this change in the world, this whole neuroplasticity that's causing us to now think in a different way and apply ourselves in different ways and new habits. And for many people it's very hard to be versatile and be emotionally intelligent about such a struggle. But this is the beauty of being able to tune in. One, online, people are giving blessings. I should have that reading, my father. I appreciate that. And please God, we should be able to join together. We're all united in a soulful level. So even if I can't be physically with my father, on a soulful level, I'm with my father. Just like I'm with my spiritual father, I'm with my physical father. We're all really united, and we have to understand the effects we have on each other. On social media, when we're posting, we're writing stuff, realize that we're affecting things. Like, you guys can share this and bring more light into the world. Or, God forbid, that people I've seen, unfortunately, other Rabbanim have spoken about it, you can write, God forbid, horrible comments and put angry face and all this kind of stuff, and make people feel like not comfortable, and you have an effect. And that's just on a social media level. Yeah, imagine, like physically with the people around you. So we all got to work on this to have a more happy face, to be more calm, do things with more peace of mind. And this is the kind of tikkun, the fixing. So we won't end up what happened this week's parsha with Adam Arishon, the first man. We won't end up getting tricked by this time spiritually, like on the 6th day creations. We're in that time right now. 5781 is close, maybe a bit after the time of the sin of Adam Arishon, if you would compare the 6 days to the 6,000 years. But the idea there is a certain like change in reality where no longer are we like tuned in to a more soulful, simple life like was for the last few thousand years, but now we're in a very intense technological life, and we're constantly exposed to that reality and change. Everything we eat is technologically affected, everything we breathe and everything we look at, and it's constantly affected by technology. Like even the glasses I'm wearing, everything is in a different experience this last time period before we go into the times of the Messiah, the Mashiach, that Rav Arush was talking about before Rosh Hashanah. So now it's really important that all of us allow ourselves to have a moment just to internalize, like I said, to be involved with positive projects. I have my Unity projects, which gives me that ability to express levels of my being and soul, to reflect on things I need to fix. Everybody should find their purpose, their mission, and to realize that it's part of a larger mission. It's not just you by yourself. And once you're doing that inner work and you're moving at the soul level, then you're Emuna, you're talking to God, you're experiencing your relationship with Hashem in everything you're doing, with the wife, with the husband, with the children, with making a living, with trying to deal with health and wellness and emotional stability, and just choosing what to do online, how to interact. Because it is a choice. People think that there's. I have to say that. You don't have to say anything. You should say something positive if you can. Yeah, Rak Chazak V'Matzvi said, only to give encouragement and strengthening to people, to share things. Not that we're scared of criticism, but we're in a generation, we're very sensitive with that kind of treatment. So rather give the love, give the inspiration, and remember, anytime you share these ideas that we're putting out, we're only just bringing more love and light into the world. We're not trying to brainwash anybody. We have no agendas. It really is a pure experience of just Emuna. When you're around Rav Arush, and we wished we could have an in-person tour. When you see him in person, which we'll at least try and manifest online through the Emuna online tour, that we're going to have that to someone whose Emuna is very pure. Like, he personally has no agenda. He's just communicating what Hashem's putting to him, and he's a mouthpiece for that, and we're getting a lot of inspiration. Around him, is there agendas? Probably, yeah, because we're not on the same level maybe as him. We haven't done the work, years of exposure. So every place has its issues, but the point is, on a real level, that we can ourselves learn from that and try purify our approach to life, to be a bit more sincere and encouraging. Like when I'm with Rav Arush, he just gives me so much encouragement. I was with my holy rabbi over Tishrei, a lot of encouragement. He calls me the Kohen Gadol, like the big Kohen, or whatever. Like a lot of compliments, a lot of encouragement. If I see him and my children, he sees how light they are, and that's the truth. With my eyes, sometimes not. Sometimes, God forbid, we don't see the truth of creation. So that's part of the challenge when you go into Shabbat Bereshis, and now the parshas we're going into, the world gets a bit physical, like we got Noach and the flood and all the things coming up, the future attractions and the future Torahs and the learning we're going to do together. But in the process, there's going to be a lot of not easy moments, like the sin of Adam Rishon, and there's no longer ability to be in the Gan Eden, Garden of Eden, and we do have to be down here, and our purpose now is to fix that. And we're doing that just by tuning in here and getting a more unified experience of Emuna in the world. So I'm letting you guys know that in 2 minutes I need to be, I just got a message, I need to get up to the studio. I'm going to try to do that. No, I don't know how I'm going to do it with the lockdown, but we'll see. But I would like to try get a edited version of this class up. Maybe we'll go a bit more into what we spoke about. And once again, when it gets put up, you guys share. It won't be exactly the same as we spoke about here. So this week we're getting a double treat. And, for me personally, also it's a treat to talk through these ideas. And I wish everybody a beautiful Shabbat Bereshis, to enjoy the first full Parsha and Shabbat this year, however, wherever you are, if you're in shul, if you're in a synagogue, if you're reading from the Bible, from the Torah, in your home, wherever you are, to tune in and that's the light this week in the world. Of Emuna, of Hibram, the Avram Avinu's light is hidden in the Parsha this week, is a hint to him. If you look carefully, and I think it's in Sheni, in the second Aliyah, he says Hibram. Yeah, the idea of Avram Avinu is there, the light of Emuna, the light of the first Mamin, the true Mamin. And Rishon didn't get it quite right, nor did Noach, but comes on their level. And Avram came and brought clear love and emunah into the world for everyone, so that Noach and Adam and all the people before him could be fixed up. And then we head towards that idea, like we spoke about Moshe to Yeshua, to all the way till now, to have only encouragement and strengthening for the whole world, for everybody. And I wish that all to you and to your family and to your friends, and how you do deal with things in this challenging time, and how you share yourself online to do it with love and encouragement and strengthening, that we should only share good news and we should be blessed with only good. Amen. Thank you for tuning in. Please share this on. Thank you for your time.